Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's another episode of Morning Cup of Merch. And as you can see, if you're watching this on the YouTube version, I am still rocking my Morning Cup of Merch shirt. Uh, Cup. I do that every week. I don't know what's going on with me. Look, before I get into the show today, I just want to take a little time to address my content on 4554 podcast this past Monday. If you haven't heard it, I addressed an issue that I saw with some of the, I guess you can call them gurus that were on ClubHouse, and some of the ways in which they were guiding people in this whole T-shirt business. And quite frankly, I spent the entire podcast on it. and I've gotten some feedback, and it's made me think. I've had some time to calm down. I've had some time to think about things, and so before I got into the show, I just wanted to say that and I mean it sincerely. If I offended anyone by my comments on the 4554 podcast this past Monday, I really and truly, sincerely do not give a damn. Sorry. If you're out here scamming people, just be glad I didn't call your name. Let's just put it that way. Sorry. Listen, I take to heart what was told to me, and I wish I could remember his name. Hopefully tonight, because we're planning on doing merch talk, he'll pop back up in the chat. But I really and truly wish I could remember his name. But he said, I still don't consider myself a quote unquote pillar of the merch community, but I do recognize that there is a power and a responsibility that comes with uh, putting this microphone and this camera on every week and delivering content. And quite frankly, if somebody's out there and they're doing wrong, especially, and I'm supposed to be, the guy that talks to all the new sellers or gets people into the t-shirt business, I can't stay quiet when I see things like that. So I'm not going to stay on that, but I really want everybody to know, if you were offended by it, good. If you weren't, I've talked to plenty of people who are coaches who offer courses since Monday, and I've gotten mad respect from them. Thank you for saying it, because it's true. There are people out there that mess this up for everyone else, and the next thing you know, we all have a subreddit. We all have a subreddit dedicated to us because of the actions of a few, and it's just not right. So yeah, sorry, you don't like it, you don't have to stick around. Anyway, let's get into it. I told you Happy Go Lucky Nick will be back, and we're back. We got a lot of PLD news. We got our PLD spotlight, some merch in the mail. Yeah, I'm really excited about the way things are going. And I have an announcement about the future of the pod. And I know everybody's gonna say, Nick, you've done that before. You're right. This time, you got to give me credit. I've been very consistent in the spirit of consistency. There's a reason that the things that are about to happen with both podcasts and the YouTube channel are happening. And it's going to open up for a lot more going forward, and a lot more that's interactive. And as I grow this whole platform and what it's going to turn into, I'm just excited. Anyway, we'll get in all that later. So, all right, so let's get to merch news. So I touched a little bit last week on the ongoing beef between Rage On and Shopify. Rage On being an app-based print-on-demand platform who was recently shut down by Shopify for their stores and subsequently all of their seller stores. So Shopify is staying pretty mum on this. Like, they're not really saying anything at all, which I get it. You're that big. You're just not saying anything. But Ray John did issue an additional statement and basically said that there were some content creators who violated the their terms of service by doing hateful shirts or other products. Um, Ray John just said, "Look, we don't know who is doing this. You know, we have hundreds and thousands of users, so we don't know what triggered it on your end." And they said they've reached out to Shopify several times. Shopify is not returning anything. So on their Instagram page, they actually put out Harley and everybody else, all these top folks at Shopify, email them and ask them what's going on. I'm pretty sure that Shopify is like not really pleased, probably with the influx of those sellers. Again, I loaded some products on Ray John, and I try to say as transparent with y'all as possible. No, not as possible. I say transparent with y'all. I didn't sell anything. I don't get it. They had all over hoodies, and they were like $70, and I was like, yo, I wouldn't pay $70 for a hoodie, and clearly nobody who went to my shop did either. I got a lot of likes and some views to my my page on the app, but nobody bought anything. So if you're able to sell on that platform, kudos to you. I would love to have you on the show just to talk about that, because that's big. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do any of it, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, hopefully this situation will be resolved. Hopefully, just for the sake of, I don't know who was violating. We have people who violate things on a daily basis on all platforms. Hopefully they can get it back, or they can get another platform where they can get their store back up. And I would say let this serve as a warning. I know a lot of people who have Shopify stores think that because it's their own website and they're paying Shopify monthly, or WooCommerce or Wix or Squarespace or Big Cartel, whatever the case, they think that, oh, well, I don't have to, abide by terms of services. No, Shopify still has terms of services too. Even if you're a vendor, they have terms of services and you got to abide by them. So it's not safe to just infringe on everything just because you have your own website. In this case, they shut down an entire PLD platform, which is crazy to me, but it's business. So shouts out to Ray John. I hope they can get everything back up. I hope the sellers that are on there that are doing well and making money can, hopefully they've diversified. Hopefully they've diversified and they're on other platforms. If they're not, I hope this will signal to them that it is time for them to possibly think about getting onto other platforms, including their own platforms, where they can control things a little bit more, and not, because I can't lie. I would hate to have my stuff shut down for somebody else. That would like really, really suck. Got a merch update on the first. Zip hoodies are now available in Japan. Read our frequently asked questions for more information regarding supported colors. We will enable publishing on a rolling basis starting today. When an account is enabled, an option to select a new product will become available in the product creation process. We've been there before. We know how this goes. No secret there. We know that they're trying to put a little bit more into their Japan market. I have been a wonderful recipient of that. They bumped me up to the 10K tier, even though I was 200 sales shy, short of being able to go to the 8K tier, which would have put me at the 20K tier, but that's just kind of what it is. But so yeah, just keep a lookout. I will say with merch, they have been really good about these rollouts, getting a lot faster. If you were around in the olden days, that like when they had the long sleeves and the original hoodies, it took forever for them to roll out. It was like, yo, everybody's already got the market just completely saturated with their hoodies, all the big sellers, by the time it came to some of the small guys who got their stuff later. So I have to give them props, especially in the last 2 years. They've been really able to dig in and getting these rollouts in fast. So look out for that in Japan. And so yeah, I am, as always, there's going to be a lot of merch news around. I'll say this much: whatever your platform of choice, take the lessons of the last few weeks. There was another bit of merch news. That's what made me think of this. If you remember, For a while, there was so much that we couldn't do with merch, and then they opened it up, and we could do it, and then we couldn't do it again, and then we could, and now here we are again. In the last 6 months, there's been a lot of changes in terms of the content. Um, Very open-ended terminology for merch, but things like um, drug paraphernalia, even skirting the line on politics. Uh, and now the word gift. The word gift is a bad word now. Gift, present, perfect for, things like that. So they've updated in their toss. And it's essentially it's this, because everybody is making a bigger deal out of it than it really has to be. Don't put gift in the title. That's it. Don't put perfect for. Because see, here's a problem. The problem is this. People will get a little bit out of pocket with some of these things. They'll have a shirt that's got a tape measure on it, and they'll say perfect for Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Sister's Day, Brother's Day, this, that, and the third. And I think at this point, merch is just flat foot tired. And quite frankly, so am I. So just write better keywords. Just write better keywords and stop saying gift. Here's the thing. We're on Amazon's platform. You got to play by their rules. If you don't want to play by their rules, you got to establish your own platform. So think about that. Really, really, really think about that. Anyway, so let's get over to our POD spotlight, which today is Redbubble. Redbubble's got a lot going on right now. So founded in 2006 in Australia, they acquired TeePublic in 2018. Redbubble is considered by a lot of people as the second biggest option for print on demand, not including Etsy, after merch. And Redbubble has had an amazing, amazing year. Redbubble went from a $3 million loss in the last 2 quarters of 2019 to a $41 million profit in the last 2 quarters in 2020. And they largely attributed that to they expanded their selection, and they also included masks. The pandemic, that made things like, and here's the thing. If you were selling in that time and you were selling masks on there, you already know those things went through the roof. And they're still selling, and the stickers are still selling, and people are paying premium prices for stickers now. So their CEO has said that they want Redbubble to be able to compete with some of the larger marketplaces, not just, and his words, not mine, Etsy, but some of the larger marketplaces. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't think that they were competing with Etsy. But probably after the 2020 that they had, I can see why they believe that. But and let's be honest, if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know there's tons of content about Redbubble out there right now. Tons of it. It's hot. Like I say the 2 hottest things right now in print on demand from a content standpoint are Canva and Redbubble. I mean, Redbubble is just hot. And they were able to come through. They had the masks. They had the good shipping. They had the good customer service. So yeah. I have 2 Redbubble shops. I recently pulled all but 10 designs off of my general store. I had to do a serious audit of it. And I was like, man, a lot of this stuff was hot in 2016. But you just leave it there. And after going through and seeing that this crap isn't selling, I now realize why, look, I have more listings than I did in 2016, but I'm selling way less. I'll be honest, I didn't do a lot of timeless designs in 2016. I didn't give Redbubble the same care and attention to evergreens that I did for merch. So I pulled all but 10 listings. So now I'm looking for a VA, because we're gonna have to get all these designs up. Like we really are, especially on this general store. It's daunting. It's daunting on Redbubble, and if they have any changes that they actually have, I would hope if you are out there and you are a representative of Redbubble and you are watching or listening, please, 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 please find a happy medium between the upload process on TeePublic, which I love, and the uploading process on Redbubble, which I am not a fan of. If you can streamline that, you've got me for life. So yeah, that's what we got for that. So let's go ahead and head to our new segment that we started last week, and that is merch in the mail. Yeah. All right, so our first question comes from Mark D. It says, I found out about your show in the Podcasting While Black group on Facebook. I started my podcast last year, and I wanted to know, should I have merch available and how? Thanks so much. All right. Thank you, Mark. First, shout out to everybody in the Podcasting While Black group. I'm in some great podcasting groups on Facebook that have really helped me take, if you guys long-time watchers and listeners, you can see it's really helped me take the show to a whole nother level and growing. I haven't even implemented 25% of the things that I've learned. So shout out to the Podcasting While Black group, along with the Anchor community, the Buzzsprout community. Listen, I am always learning. I call myself an evergreen student. I'm always learning. So always a lot of great stuff there. Anyway, so to answer your question, and this is a question that I've been waiting on somebody to ask, so I'm glad. It almost seems like a setup, but it's not. If you are creating content, and I'm talking to all content creators, whether it's YouTube, podcasting, if you're doing rooms on ClubHouse, if you're doing IG Lives, Facebook, whatever the case may be, you have absolutely got to have merch. There's no way around it. If nothing else, you should have the logo of your show on a t-shirt, on a coffee mug. I'm doing an unboxing after the show for my Coffee Crew shirt. You should at all times be able to brand yourself. Why do you think that Spring does the merch shelf integration on YouTube? Now, you have to have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube to even get to that, but there are ways around it. So the question is, should you have merch? Absolutely. One, you want to create brand ambassadors for your product. Do them as giveaways. If people are listening to you every week, they're listening for a reason. Start off doing them as giveaways, make them available for sale, brand it around. When you look at it, like, there are things that I have coming for Morning Cup of merch. Again, I got coffee mugs now. I've got shirts and hoodies. I'm going to be doing an unboxing every week. I've got products coming in to do an unboxing, and all of it is centered around the branding on Morning Cup of merch. So you absolutely should. I would say, if you have a saying, like for instance, on the 4554 podcast, I end that podcast the same way every time. You can make as much money as you want to in print on demand, but you have to press the go button. I have a press the go button shirt. I have a Morning Cup of merch mug. I've got a Coffee Crew t-shirt that I'm about to unbox. I got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. I'm going to actually start replacing some of the pictures that you see on the YouTube version to reflect more of that. I'm centering my brand because I'm a coffee lover. I like coffee. So and I like merchandise. So you'll start to see that transition. And as people, I'm telling you, your faithful listeners, they will support you. They're not doing it just because, oh, okay, I just have to have this shirt. Like, for instance, I have t-shirts, I have coffee mugs of other content creators, and it's not because I just have to have that shirt. I can create anything that I want to wear. I can make it. But I want to support them. So yeah, I do get merchandise from content creators like Clayton Thomas. I do get merchandise or coffee mugs from content creators like Roland Martin and so forth. So in addition to supporting them financially. When you have people who support your content and you put out good content, people want to support you financially. You know, if you are really bringing that content, there are people that support this show financially, and my God, I thank you, my coffee crew. You guys have been showing out the last week. Please keep it up. So, cheap plug, go to buymeacoffee.com/Nick Eden and join my coffee crew. $5 a month or $50 for the full year. Anyway, um, but yeah, absolutely, that's how you should do it, and how you should do it. If you are not at the point, if you're doing it on YouTube and you don't have the 10,000 subscribers to get the merch show, okay, that's fine. You can always go directly to Spring, Spring, whichever you want to call it. Set up there. That's fine. And as you build up and as you get that subscriber count, you've already got all your intellectual property there. There are other shops, Redbubble, TeePublic. If you are in the merch program, if you know, and I get it, not all of you guys are who are podcasting. You're not graphic designers, so I realize that I'm talking to kind of a mixed crowd right now. I got my merch seller crowd over here, but then I also got the crowd over here of podcasters, because we are shrinking this down to a clip so that you all know. Get with somebody who is a designer. Again, you already have a logo. That's your first shirt. That's your first coffee mug. That's your first hat, your first backpack. Okay, take a saying that you do with your show. That's your second one, and just keep building from there. And just keep building from there. So, and if you listen, there's so many things that you could do. I could talk about this all day, but I'm going to keep it short because I have another question to get to. But yes, Mark, thank you for your question. You should definitely be getting merch, and that's how you should do it. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, question number 2. This comes from Elaine T. My mom's name is Elaine. Beautiful name. Hi, Nick. What do you think about doing a print-on-demand pop-up shop? I had an idea of doing it around certain holidays, especially with everyone still primarily shopping online during the pandemic. Just curious to know your thoughts. Okay. Well, so what I would say, I actually think that's a really good idea. There are a couple of ways to do it. You could do it as like an event where if you have an email list already, you can do like an Eventbrite kind of event where people can get tickets, and then you can just do like this big, amazing thing. But when I think about a print-on-demand pop-up shop centered around holidays, what I would probably do, just being honest, I would probably do it on a platform like Etsy. Let me tell you what I mean. I would probably start a brand new Etsy site, and I would center it. So let's say it was Mother's Day, right? And I would probably, and you could do Etsy, you can do Shopify, whatever the case may be. The reason I say Etsy is because Etsy has its own traffic. So if you don't have an email list, if you do have a strong email list, definitely something like Shopify, Big Cartel, WooCommerce, Wix, whatever the case may be. If you don't, and this is just a concept that you're wanting to try out, I would do it on Etsy because they have a large fan base of women shoppers who are great at getting gifts. They seamlessly integrate with Pinterest. So I would run like Pinterest ads, but I would probably set it up and just market it and create a FOMO, fear of missing out. Hey, listen, we are doing a Mother's Day pop-up, and the store is only going to be open from these dates to these dates. And then you got your mock-ups, and I would just market. I would do some Pinterest ads. I do some Facebook ads, really push that opening date, and then just go hard. Just really go hard with that. That's actually a really good idea, because I'm sitting here thinking about, oh my gosh, if it were me, I'd be doing like Mother's Day jewelry, Mother's Day shirts, not just shirts and hoodies, but like coin bags, tote bags, glassware, kitchenware. Man, it's just so, and to be honest, I would even probably, because I say Mother's Day, but whatever holiday you're thinking, like I would probably just be like, look, let me get some wholesale products too. You know, maybe some handmade jewelry, or maybe like there's just so much that you could do. And then you get the cutoff, bam, you got the cutoff. So you've done the whole fear of missing out. And then I would shut the site down for like 2 weeks. I would shut it down for 2 weeks, and then I would reach back out to all the customers everybody that I've marketed, everybody I've retargeted. Hey, we've had overwhelming, an overwhelming support system coming from you guys. We appreciate you so much. We've made the decision to reopen the store and keep it open consistently. That's what I would do. That's a Elaine, that is an amazing idea. I would absolutely do that. Thank you for that. Like I may do that for a couple of summer holidays. Like yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great if and I hope I didn't steal. I hope I just tell all my followers the holiday you would think about. You just said holiday, so I just thought about like the next big holiday that wasn't St. Patrick's Day. I apologize if that was the case. I really do. But an amazing idea nonetheless. I really appreciate that. Please, Elaine, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow the 4554 podcast on Instagram, send me a DM. I'd love to see how that's going for you. I really would. And then maybe we can bring you onto the show afterwards to just kind of see where it went. So yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. We're gonna do the unboxing right after we end the regular show. I did want to say just really quickly because as you can tell, these shows have started to go a little longer than they usually do. There's a reason for that. So for the past 3.5, going on 4 years, I've been doing the 4554 podcast. I've taken breaks. I've taken big breaks, but I've been doing content in some form or fashion, whether it's the podcast, doing Morning Cup of Merch, the YouTube, and now I'm kind of doing them all together. That being said, I have made a decision to merge the 4554 podcast and Morning Cup of Merch. And I originally was going to do that. I've had this idea to do this for a while, but I was going to do it later in the year and build up both platforms first and then do the merger. And then I said, you know what? That's not fair, because if I start building up a bunch of brand new listeners, and I mean, it's pretty much covering the same content. I was going to put more of the Shopify stuff on 4554, but quite frankly, I can add that as a segment to Morning Cup of Merch. Thanks to you guys, the listeners, the viewers, and it sounds cliche, I'm sorry. But thanks to you guys, there have been some amazing opportunities that have come this way. And as the channels have grown larger, there are entities that want to grow with them. And but here's the thing. One thing that I will not do, I will not sacrifice the integrity of the show for a check. I just won't. I've not made a ton of money off of these platforms so far, so I don't see the need, and I still love doing this. If I didn't love doing this, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll take the check and say whatever you want. but I and you can rest assured, anytime I've ever pushed a product or a service on these platforms, it's because it's something that I've tried out, I use regularly, I paid for, and I believe in. And that's going to continue. So I'm loving all the opportunities that are coming this way. But if they are not consistent with the integrity of what I want to put out to you all, then I'll just be sitting here doing the same thing every week to the same folks, as long as I'm providing value. But from a branding standpoint, it just makes a little bit more sense long term to continue with everything being Morning Cup of Merch. And to be completely honest with you, I can tell you one of my long-term goals is that I would love to turn Morning Cup of Merch into a morning show. So there are just some things that I'm going to be doing. There are some things that you're going to see visually and from an audio standpoint that are different with Morning Cup of Merch. And I'm not cutting off 4554 podcast next week. We're going to rock out March. We're going to March Madness this thing out. And the 4554 podcast is going to go out with a bang. The old episodes will still be there, still be available. And I appreciate it, because it's bittersweet, because the 4554 podcast was my start. and content creation for print on demand. And I'm finally putting it down, and I love it. I genuinely love that podcast. Um, so it'll still be around. It'll still be around. It'll still exist in the archives. But going forward, everything in a longer format is going to be on Morning Cup of Merch. And hopefully, eventually, we'll grow. We'll have more people, some co-hosts. And eventually, this will become a morning show. So I appreciate everybody for rocking with me and continuing to show me love. And I'm looking forward to seeing where we go from here. Don't forget, follow me, 4554 Podcast on Instagram, at 4554 Podcast, TikTok at Nick Eden, Clubhouse at Nick Eden, YouTube Nick Edens. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to join my coffee crew, www.buymeacoffee.com/Nick Eden. $5 a month, $50 for the entire year. At the beginning of every month, you get a free design bundle. I have another show there called Let's Talk About It. It's really uncut, really unfiltered. You got some over-the-shoulder research stuff going on. I'm going to start streaming on my Buy Me a Coffee page when I do my live research on ClubHouse. So you'll be able to see what I see instead of just hearing me in ClubHouse for those who are listening. And other than that, I will talk to you same time next week. Take care. You stuck around again. And I appreciate it because now we got our unboxing. So, my favorite knife. So this one is coming from Merch by Amazon. Let's see here. And our Port and Company Coffee Crew t-shirt. That's right. Look at it there. Feels good. I like it. I like it a lot. The gray on the steam comes through really nicely. That really shows up. There's a slight dark brown line around the coffee mug. I actually got this coffee mug on... this was included in a bundle for Merch Informer, their design bundle. You guys know when I do my research on ClubHouse, I just do native Amazon, right? Or native Redbubble or whatever the case may be. But I love the design bundle feature in Merch Informer. So I will say, and if you saw my Easter design that was on TikTok and on YouTube, then you would know that it's also I use that also came from Merch Informer. So they put that out every month. There are well over 1,000 illustrations that are on there that they are free for commercial use. It's $9.99 a month. So if you do want that, if you go to Merch Informer, you can sign up and you'll get 20% off your subscription by using my code Coffee Crew. So yeah, that's where I got that from. But other than that, yes, I am loving the unboxing. And we're going to continue to do that. So I got my Coffee Crew shirt. I got my Morning Cup of Merch mug. And that is it. I will talk to you all next time. Take care, y'all.